In this video, I'm going to be going over your 2-point perspective box with a cast shadow. So this will be the cast shadow perspective quiz. This one is going to be a little bit more technical, so make sure that you pay attention with this. Make sure you look at those pages in the perspective book, and I'll try to be as detailed and as clear as possible in this guy. So again, we're going to start with our horizon line and a 2-point perspective box. Got my vanishing points, and I'm gonna just draw my box down here. I'm not gonna make him too big, just enough to see him clearly. You are going to want to draw a clear 2-point perspective box, so make sure that you show all of the edges, all of the sides, and all of the corners. Overshot that guy right there. Go. Remember, you chop them off wherever you want, on both sides. I do the dots just to show you the tops and the bottoms as clearly as possible. So, oops. Bring this back to both vanishing points. Same with this guy down here. Same with the other side. Okay. Okay, now remember, we're gonna have an intersection here, an intersection here. They're gonna be very close to one right above the other. So make sure you draw a vertical line that connects those. And now what I'm gonna do, for sake of being clear, is I'm going to erase most of, at least make dotted, all of these guidelines here, because there's a lot of them and I don't want y'all getting confused. Erase all those. All right, good. So now we've got those pretty well done here. I'm gonna make sure these are all clear. This is a guideline as well, so I'm gonna erase him. He is an edge, he is a guideline. So make sure you are well aware of which edges we would see, which corners we would see, and which lines you drew were guidelines. Remember, this is going to be a clear box. We need a clear box to make our cast shadow accurately. All right, so there we go. Hopefully y'all can see that. Now, here's where we get to the instructions of the cast shadow. As you read in your book, there were a couple different ways to do a cast shadow depending on the kind of lighting source you have. So if you have an artificial source of light, then that's going to act in a way as kind of like a vanishing point, that light bulb that you're using. What your quiz is going to ask for, and what I'm going to show you, is natural light. And natural light comes from the sun, and the sun is so far away and so broad and big, certainly much bigger than the box we're drawing, that the light is going to be shining down on this box as if all the rays of light are parallel to each other. Nothing's going to converge diagonally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the light source be on the left-hand side. That's what your instructions are going to ask for. And it's going to be from the sun. It's going to be natural light. So don't get confused. This is not a vanishing point. I'm just showing you that from the left side, we've got the sunlight. So sunlight on left. Wow, that was terrible handwriting. There we go. Sunlight on the left, okay? So just to let you know, the lighting will be on the left, and the shadow will therefore, let's think this through, be cast on the right. So it'll be on the opposite side of where the light is shining. So with all of the rays of light being parallel, they are going to hit the top corners of the box. Now, here's something to think through. When we have the light shining on this top corner of the box, it's going to fall that shadow, if it's on the left and it's casting to the right, then that shadow is going to fall like within the box itself, right? So I'll return to this, but this will not be seen, this particular part of our shadow, because on this corner, that shadow is going to fall within the box, because the rest of the box is on the right-hand side also. So we're going to keep it parallel, okay? Make sure that whatever angle you used for that light ray, keep it the same angle and merely shift your straight edge so they're all parallel, and make that same angle, that same parallel angle, hit all the top corners of your box. Okay, just like that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to correlate the diagonal light ray that hits the top corner, find that bottom corner, and that bottom corner needs to have a horizontal line going straight out to the direction of where the shadow is going to be. Let's start off with this one right here. This is the one that I mentioned earlier we're not going to see in reality, and I'll show you why. So the light ray is hitting the top corner here. Correlate that to the bottom corner of that box. We're going to make a horizontal line, goes straight to the right because the light is on the left. So within, like falling within the box, this would be the point of our shadow. We're going to connect the points, connect the dots of our shadow as a whole unified part later. But this dot, you notice how it is landed inside the floor of our box. That's why we wouldn't see it. But I did want to show you that that is what we would have to follow to find that point of our shadow. So let's do this guy. Whoops. We have the light ray coming down at this angle, hitting this corner. So now we find the bottom, correlate the top to the bottom of that corner. So that bottom is going to come straight out to the right in a horizontal line, and it's going to stop right there. See how I'm making these triangles? They're like little sailboat triangles. So maybe thinking of it that way will help you. Now we're going to do this one. Okay, so the light is hitting this top corner. Correlate it with the bottom. This is why we needed to make a clear 2-point perspective box. Come straight out, boop. Okay, right there. So I'm making these dots. We've got this angled light ray hitting this right there, that top corner. Correlate to the bottom. We're going to take it straight out to the right with a horizontal line, boop, right there. See that? Now, this is what you do. You connect the dots with a straight edge, like that, like that. And what we would do is we would connect it within, but knowing that this is going to be on the inside of our box, we don't need to. This is our shadow. Now, if the box were opaque, like a closed 2-point perspective box, all we would see, and I'll shade this in here, would be this and this. Do you see that? Because this part of the shadow we wouldn't see because of this wall. You see how this whole box, this whole cube, if it were opaque, we wouldn't be able to see through it. But we still needed to find where that was, because we needed to know the angle of this part of that shadow that we would see. So I'm going to make this bold here. So like I said at the very beginning, it is a little bit more technical, so make sure that you pay attention. Certainly let me know if you have any questions before your day of the quiz. The book will also do a good job explaining this as well. And this is going to be your quiz. And I'll let you keep all of your lines. I might recommend that you get rid of the lines that you had at the very beginning to make your 2-point perspective clear box, just to help you out so that you're not confused. I liked it better erasing those lines so that all I could focus on was my clear 2-point perspective box, having those diagonal light rays that are all parallel to each other, and then correlating the top corner with its bottom corner, drawing a horizontal line that is going away from where the light source is, finding that connection, that intersection, and that's the dot. Once you find all 4, then you can connect them. And then remember to use your logic. Think through, if the box is going to be a closed box, this would be our shadow. Now, if the box were made of like ice, or if it were made of glass or something, certainly we would see this. We would probably also see that shadow on the inside, something going on there, but we're not going to get too technical because now we're starting to play with prisms and all that, and we're not into that. We're at this stage. So we are only going to focus on the shadow that's going to be cast beyond outside the box right here.